At least I know what the problem was. Too many requests. I wonder if a lot of people have, okay, YouTube connected. So now let's try Facebook. Because I like to get this, not me bitching. I'd like to get the actual stream going, which is basically going to be talking a little bit about Charlie Kirk. I don't know nearly as much as most people, but I'll give you my 2 cents. Well, in the background on the screen, well, hopefully on the screen, will be me doing a little bit of touch up on my Graff Toonz office comic, as well as adding lettering. My handwriting sucks, so basically what I do is I do everything else by hand except the lettering, which I do on computer, on GIMP. So let's see, Facebook, Facebook, Facebook. So people watching on YouTube and Facebook will miss out on most of my rant because those weren't connected. So let's see how YouTube is. Okay, let's see here, Rumble. So it's still connecting to Facebook, but I want to check on YouTube. Okay, I'm a dork, my channel. Let's see, live. Okay, that is showing. I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's click this and see if I'm getting any broadcast here from YouTube. Okay, so now I'm live on YouTube. So that was what it was. That was what I referred to as a pebcak error. Problem exists between keyboard and share, because I didn't know you had to click the little toggle. And Facebook is still stuck on connecting. So, should I just connect that and retry? I don't know if that'll work or not. Because I had connection issues. I think a lot of people are just trying to connect at the same time, and Rumble's kind of bulky on this process. Let's still, sometimes just trying to restart shit works better. So Facebook might be a bust, which is not surprising because when I was trying to multi-stream Facebook through OBS, it worked for a little while, and then I started having all kinds of issues. And I suspect it was more on the Facebook ends of things because I didn't change anything. You know, and OBS didn't change, so therefore, if suddenly it's having problems, it's because of some shitty updates Facebook did. So that sucked because, like I said, I'd like to triple stream Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube, and especially Facebook because most of the people I know are there. They're not going to pick up YouTube, my YouTube broadcast. They're certainly not going to pick up Rumble. But there's a pretty good chance they might pick up from Facebook. So let's see if what's going on with Facebook. Maybe let's hit this. Select a video source. Okay. Discard exit. So I wonder if there's some kind of place. Where is live on this? Okay, here we go. Live studio. I'm not seeing. Oh, here we go. It's claiming live now, so let's go back to Rumble. And it says connecting, but on the Facebook end it says live now, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. So let's duplicate this tab so I can go to Abraham Helsing. Okay, so it looks like I'm live on Facebook too. Uh-oh, waiting for video signal. That was the problem. It kept cutting in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Oh, the live video has ended. Why is it doing that? Yeah, Facebook was the fucking worst. Out of Rumble, YouTube, and Facebook, Facebook is the fucking worst. It probably does okay if you just live stream from Facebook, but boy, does it suck trying to do it from anything else. Okay, so let's try and push this through again. On, off. Yeah, connecting. They never got a solid connection, even though it showed it is fucking working. Okay, boopity beepity boop. Okay, we're live again, according to this, but I'll probably wind up deleting it because it's probably going to have a lot of fucking connection issues. In and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. So we'll see how it works out. Because in all fairness, from where I'm looking from Rumble Studio page, it says connecting compared to YouTube, which says connected. So even though it appears to be working, it's flaky. So anyway, anywho, let me, let's see, stream preview. Okay, I'm going to blow a fucking shit fits if this screen goes away. So let's me go here. Let me hit this, see what we're looking at. We're still looking at this. So, yes, GAMP. So, let's see. Oh, I gotta get the script too. So, anyway, I didn't really know much about Charlie Kirk, except he was like a conservative commenter. But my basic premise over his murder is this. On one side, you have a guy who wanted to have a conversation. You wanted to have debates. On the other hand, you have a bunch of murderous fucking assholes who basically, you're a Nazi, you're a Nazi, you're a Nazi. And one of them shoots Charlie Kirk in the neck, and the rest of them are all dancing in the streets, you know, making posts on social media about how overjoyed they are that a guy who basically just wanted to debate shit is dead. So really, looking at the two sides, that's all I need to know as to who the shitheads are. The shitheads are the people screeching at everybody that disagrees with them is a Nazi. Fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. I don't know where that came from, because the old liberals like Alan Dershowitz and Noam Chomsky love to debate. And they're good at it too. And they made their points. Now those guys got replaced with a bunch of shit for brains whose only response is you're a Nazi. I don't debate Nazis. You're a Nazi. You punch a Nazi. It's just, again, they're fucking douchebags and they're not bright. I just don't care what their grades are in school or college or whatever. They're not fucking bright. Because people who are really bright, again, I'll cite Noam Chomsky and Alan Dershowitz, like to debate. Because they have the tools. They can crush people in debates. Like I said, they're good at that. But if you're a fucking phoebe, and somebody's disagreeing with you, and you just get a fuck. If you just become enraged, then you got nothing. And then, all they got to say is a lot of politicians as well, this is why we need gun control. Well, let me lay it out for you. Charlie Kirk was shot with a bolt-action rifle, which had a 5-round internal magazine. It was basically a hunting gun. So, how the fuck would gun control, all the proposed gun control is basically assault rifle bills and magazine capacity limits. So they want to limit, magazines like rifle magazines to 5 rounds. Well, okay, check. Their Charlie Kirk's killer's rifle had that. They want to get rid of AR-15, semi-automatic rifles. Again, Charlie Kirk's rifle was a bolt action. So no assault rifle bill would have done a fucking thing. And another thing, his shooter had no criminal record, no history of mental illness. So that kind of check, he passes that. Or he did pass it. I mean, obviously now he's up for murder and he's never going to be able to have another gun again. They'll put him in jail. But the only gun control that would have worked is a complete gun ban, which most of the people who are pushing for gun control, they're lying. They really do want that, but they're claiming they don't. They'll say, oh, we don't want to take, your hunting rifles, blah, 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 blah. But they fucking do. I mean, if they're claiming that gun control would have fixed this, then yeah, that's what they want. So let's see. I got to open up the script for this. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. So I know what to type. Okay, D. Documents. Comic scripts. Graff Toonz 12. Here we go. And I won't be using this immediately because I'm going to do some touch-up work first. Like, see this? That sucks. I always make like little fucking boners like this. But that's what GIMP is for, to reduce the suck. So yeah, from what I've heard about Charlie Kirk from more reasonable people who aren't screeching Nazi, 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 is he was just a typical run-of-the-mill conservative. He wasn't some radical guy. And again, the people on the right, they can't really abide that. All conservatives, not just like really right-wing, far-right people, all conservatives now are Nazis to them. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of the clone tool to get rid of something. Shrink this. Okay. Now. Okay, color picker, because we want that's not going to be totally black. We're going to really shrink this down. Or is there a line tool here? I think you might have to use a path tool, or you can just use this. Let's see, 2, 5, 3. That's good enough. I mean, the gap's been closed. So back to clone tool. And this is kind of boring shit. It's boring for me too, but I'm not very good at public speaking, so I do kind of need something in the background to run while I'm yadding. Yada, yada, yada. Oh no, don't do that. This is so annoying. Okay, oh, I hit shift and I hit the wrong thing. Okay. Okay, boink. So I don't want to get too anal with fixing it, but I do want to clear up. Yeah, corners are especially bad. The ink always tends to like blob up on corners. I wish it didn't, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, goink. Okay, that's better than it was. Okay, that's annoying too, so we'll try and clean that up. Once again. Shrink it down. Switch over to magnify. Boink, 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 boink. I mean, this is a stupid comic, so there's probably more effort than it's worth, but I do like cleaning it up. Kick it back. I managed to fuck up every single corner. Oh, I hate that. That's a defect, where if you click the mouse slightly wrong, or if something fucks up, it goes to maximum magnification. It's like, please don't fucking do that. So back to 50%. That's fixed. Next. I have been kind of wondering how the left is going to do in the midterms. Usually the opposite party does better in the midterms. They pick up a few seats, that's the norm. But I think people who aren't mentally defectives really don't like the reaction that's been going on with Charlie Kirk. And they may pay for the ballot box. They've also been paying for it with their jobs, or at least some of them. Because what's been happening is they'll post this video about how overjoyed they are that this guy that they never knew, probably didn't listen to, died. And then other people have been sending copies of that or the URL to their rant to their bosses. And if their employees are sane, they don't want somebody who's insane, like I said, doing a dance over some guy who just like to argue, like to debate with people being killed. And they're going on and on how overjoyed they are about that. Your average employer doesn't want somebody like that working for him. So it's like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. You get a new job. And it's funny because now they're making videos screeching about that. It's like, I lost my job. Wah, 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 wah. And I mean, these are the same people that would deplatform people from social media because of things they didn't like that they were saying about, the coof or maybe other subjects. And then somebody, who got deplatformed would complain. They were real smug. They'd lean back and go, it's consequence culture. It's not cancel culture, it's consequence culture. Well, you assholes losing your jobs, if you're going to use that, that applies to you too. It's consequence culture. You open your fucking mouth, you said shit that was nasty in public, you basically embarrassed your employer. I mean, my last job, I literally had to sign a piece of paper that said, I will not embarrass my employer. So that covers a pretty wide range of things. Like, let's say I decided I wanted to run naked down the street, and that got in the newspaper. I get fired for that because I embarrassed them. Well, if I decided to be a douche nozzle and go on about how overjoyed I was that somebody got shot in the neck and died in front of their wife and kids, yeah, that's an embarrassment to the company, and I should get fired for that. And that's what's been happening to these douche nozzles. A little bit of correction here. Let's see. Again, go back to 50. Okay. I think well, no, we're not quite ready because I want to, this is too dark. So what I want to do, let's see, let's bring this in a little. Okay. And since I'm going to add the text, I should probably shrink this first so we don't have text size issues. Let's see, image, scale image, height, So that's way too big, so we'll drop that down to 900. Scale. Oink. Shift J to full size it. And so now we are going to it's also kind of yellowish, so let's see what happens. Image mode. Let's see, grayscale. Okay, there we go, and that does look better. It had kind of it was subtle. It was subtle. It wasn't glaring, but it did have a kind of a pukey yellow tone to it, which was probably from the overhead light. So I can't do that fix if I have something in color, but certainly black and white shit like this, it'll work fine. So now let's see. Here we go. Colors, brightness, contrast. That's actually something Krita doesn't have. Just a simple brightness and contrast. It's not a complicated wavy line thing, which I'm not fond of at all. I mean, I'm big into options. I'm not saying that shouldn't be available, but I'd rather just have this as an option to Krita. Let's see, boink. Let's see. Yeah, this is much better. Like, you couldn't even see the graph line. So, okay. I'm just going to click that because I like it just the way it is. Really the best way to deal with this, getting into the computer, is to scan it, but I'm just too lazy to pull out my scanner every time. So I wind up taking pictures on the phone, and you get the lighting's uneven, it's brighter on one side, and you can see that it is on the other. Well, you can see it's brighter here than it is here a little bit, but fuck it. I mean, nobody reads a stupid comic anyway, so it's kind of like, I'm not going to put a massive amount of effort into it. So we got to get the comic font here, the correct font. And of course it goes all the way to the bottom immediately. There's a specific comic font I use. Regular. Okay, yeah, and I don't want it too dark. Because it looks weird if I make it dark, way darker than the ink. So let's see. Let's make sure this is the right font. Isn't that typing? Okay, just my computer decided it's gonna be slow. Okay, make that bold. Okay, that's much better. So let's go get the script. Probably spell check this because my spelling is horrible. I can't do anything without making spelling errors. So let's open up Notepad Plus because that will actually spell check shit for me. correctly. Okay, it's not coming up with any mistakes. So let's get this focused. Hit Control V. And oh, that's going to be hard to squeeze in. This comic's probably going to be difficult to read because usually I just do two panels. But when you do 4 on the same page, everything shrinks. Which means long comments like this are kind of fucking hard to squeeze in. So oink, oink, oink. Let's jack this up here. Corner. Okay, so we're still need to probably shrink this. Okay, that wasn't set to mold. Now it is. Okay, so that's done. That's probably not going to be very readable, but fuck it. You do what you can do with what you got. Show me a boundary? No. Okay, so I did hand do a couple of things just because it was easier that way. Alright, so let's see what's next. That's panel 1. I guess bold doesn't work for paste. You have to set it after you paste it. Kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Not sure if I like the color. It's a little too dark for compared to get it the darkest. See if we can get a little darker than that. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's still too dark. Yeah, it kind of is. Boink, boink. Maybe making that bold is just making it too dark too. So fuck it. Okay, boink. Copy, because I already get the script, so there's no need to retype this shit. Okay, boink. So I might have to shrink this text a little more, which I don't want to do, but fuck it. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Save. Should have done that earlier, but no, good enough. So in case a stupid thing crashes, I don't need to redo all the work. And GIMP is pretty good about that. Let's see, panel 3. Ouch, okay. Copy. So that's 20, and that's so we'll do off panel for this. So we'll do the commentary from the picture. Here, and I'll do like those speech lines connecting the words after this. Okay, panel 4. Okay, copy. So that's good for him. And last, I'll probably have to shrink this because this is a long speech. Okay. Okay, doom. Yeah, I'm really gonna have to shrink this, which is gonna make it kind of unreadable, but such is the woes of comic design by amateurs. Still doesn't fucking fit. Okay, I might hit bold on this since it's so teeny tiny. And that's the way it has to be, because I made a big speech from Richard Head, the boss, which was actually similar to a real speech I got when people were complaining about the company items from the actual company I work for not being fun, because no shit, they usually had them on a golf field. So you had no trees, no shade, nothing. And they picked the hottest day of the summer. It was like 98, exactly as it puts here, 98 degrees, 100% humidity. So you're just dying. And then they had, active sports. You're supposed to jump around in the heat. Now, to be honest, the volleyball and the softball weren't all that bad. The worst, and I passed on this, was soccer. I mean, but the funny thing is the softball got canceled because a woman got golfed by the ball, exactly as in this comic. I took that out of reality. But if you ask me, I mean, that could have been solved with a batter's helmet. I mean, if you ask me, probably the most dangerous would be that stupid soccer, having people, some of whom were out of condition, running around in plus 90 heat. I mean, can you say heat stroke anyone? Yeah, that's much more readable with the bolt turned on. And I can't really make the font any bigger because it'll overlap the characters. So let's see. Let's create a new layer. It's always very exciting. Boink, boink. No, I don't want a new brush. I don't want to edit brushes. Seriously annoying. So, okay, here's a new layer. So we're just going to do line 1. We'll see how this is. We'll make it one bigger. Okay, that works. Okay, this marvelous masterpiece is done, and this is my work comic, which I don't do a lot of because I'm running out of ideas for it. And I renamed the company so I don't get sued from its original name to Rapacia. And kind of the concept is to use basic tools you get out of an office supply closet. So it has Sharpies for markers. I drew the characters. The Bic Crystal, which, I mean, they give those away in offices by the dozens. A lovely cough. And the only kind of, I guess you call it a cheat, is doing the text from my computer. But fuck it, I had GIMP available to me at work, so I could have done that too. Okay, so let's see, file, save. Yeah, so like I said earlier, non-Rumble people missed my rant about streaming. Because it was painful to set up, and a lot of it was just me not knowing what the fuck I'm doing, because like I said earlier, there's two toggles on Rumble's page to give the go to YouTube and Facebook, and I didn't know that, so I was wondering why they weren't showing up. So yeah, dumb boomer error. There you have it. So, this file. Let's see, export. It's defaulting to T, and I looked at CR because it originally stood for cropped, but basically it also it evolved, so it stands for basically done. So the earlier ones I worked off of, and then this. Yeah, export. And there we go. And yeah, it's readable. If you click it to the full size, little big. The boss Richard Head speech is a little more difficult, but fuck it. There you go. The trials and tribulations of amateur comics. So let's see, and hopefully that kept to page. Okay, this stream is over, and I'm going to wait a few seconds because if you don't do that, it'll cut out the last few seconds of your stream, which is incredibly annoying. So let's see, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go to the run.